In Brooklyn, New York. It is amazing as we get ready now for the main event. When you look at Morales' resume, this is a man who, before Pacquiao and before Barrera, fought Junior Jones, Kevin Kelly, Wayne McCullough, Daniel Zaragoza. Those guys were all a little older at the time. Morales was extremely young. Now Morales is the man looking to stay in the picture and facing a very young fighter, 24-0, 24-year-old Danny Garcia. Let's go to the ring and Jimmy Lennon Jr.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring the challenger, the number 2 ranked contender from Mexico, introducing Eric El Terrible Morales.
And so here's a look at Eric Morales, and this guy has been there, he's done that. He's done it 19-4 in world title bouts. He's been around the track.
That's for sure. At age 36, a 19-year veteran of the sport. The drama of the last several days, the emotional drama, the fact that he had to lose that weight. We know that he was several pounds overweight and just got under the weight. All of that, we'll see if a 19-year veteran can handle that physically and emotionally.
Austin Trout, he just kind of has the demeanor of a champion, of a guy who's done this before. Very calm, very cool, very collected.
Well, it definitely looks like it's not his first rodeo. You know, he's walking down here like I've been here, I've done this before, I'm ready to do it again. But you know, it's 90% mental. So let's see. Hopefully, his mentality is not messed up by all the drama that's been going on.
He's been downtown and seen the elephants, right?
Yes, he has. Well put. And you know, as Brian pointed out, all of that history, even at age 36, does help you because you understand emotionally what's necessary. A couple of firsts here, as I said, trying to win that WBA title for the first time, fighting in New York for the first time.
He told us very candidly when we spoke with him yesterday, he wants 2 more fights, he wants this fight, and then he wants a fight in his hometown in Tijuana, and that would be that.
Well, you know, we want to thank him for all his years of service, and you know, we're just looking forward to a good fight tonight.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, here is the defending and undefeated world champion from Philadelphia, introducing
En Puerto Rico, cabrón, él es puertorriqueño también. Nació allá, pero es puertorriqueño, los papás y la familia. Sangre. La banderita que la tiene en el pantalón.
24-0, 15 knockouts, and he's already beaten the man he's facing tonight.
His fight against Eric Morales, at the end, he was dominant. And many people believe that how you end a first fight is often how you begin a second, even though he is not the quickest starter on the planet. He believes he still has something to prove, or at least some people do, because even his win over Amir Khan, which was a dramatic win, he was having issues in those first couple rounds. Danny Garcia, I think, is still in a proving stage. That's his father behind him, a very loquacious defender of his son. They certainly have great confidence in themselves, but a marquee performance here tonight would help take him yet another step.
And maybe, Austin, there's a parallel to yourself here. Undefeated fighter, fighting for a championship that's already his. You're going to be facing that exact same situation.
Well, I know Danny's the hungrier fighter, and putting Eric Morales' name under his belt for a second time in a better fashion is feeding his hunger. He's also coming off of 2 good wins, one over Eric and the other one over Khan, which means he's coming with momentum into the ring.
So he comes in as the champion, Morales comes in as the challenger. Morales did have some issues. He says it does not affect anything because he says, I haven't done anything wrong. I think that'll be proven in the next hour.
Yeah, and we're going to see, you know, there's mixed emotion about this fight. Let's be honest, out there in the blogosphere and everywhere else. Some people distressed that Eric Morales was allowed to fight in this fight, and that's just a fact. So we'll see how that plays itself out.
So Morales just loosening up, and Morales did have to lose some weight. He did make weight, but he had to lose weight. He's had a lot of stuff on his mind other than the business at hand, which comes right now in the person of Danny Garcia. He says he's trained hard. He's earned everything that he has so far. He's still a hungry fighter, even though he's the champion.
And I believe it. I totally believe it. I also think that little animosity that from yesterday and all the drama could spill over in the fight today, which might give Danny that kickstart that he needs.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing, too. I think a lot of times that's all done for effect. I'm not too sure that yesterday's weigh-in was for effect. I think that was the real deal. Al, talk us through the numbers here.
All right, let's look at the numbers. And one of the numbers that is very important, clearly, is the age of Eric Morales. 12 years the senior of Garcia, and even more than that, has been through many wars. And the 139.25 is important because we know he struggled to make that weight over the last couple of days.
Yeah, in fact, maybe even over the last 3 hours, he was 3 pounds over at approximately 10 o'clock in the weigh-in. I believe it was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And so he just barely made it.
All right, with that, we'll take you to the center of the ring. Introduction of our main event fighters once more. Here's the inimitable Jimmy Lennon Jr. Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the home of the Brooklyn Nets. Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York for the featured bout of the evening. Brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions and Showtime. Sponsored by Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, DeWalt Tools and their new 20-volt Max brushless technology. They are guaranteed tough. And AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. This bout is sanctioned by the WBC, President Jose Suleiman, Supervisor Joe Dwyer, the WBA, President Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor George Martinez, along with the New York State Athletic Commission, the Chairperson, Malvina Lathan. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Villa Park, California, Max DeLuca. From Albany, New York, Tom Schreck. And from Rivervale, New Jersey, Steve Weisfeld. Introducing to you our 3rd man of the ring, the referee in charge.
Go, Danny.
Benji Estevez.
Go, Danny. For Puerto Rico.
With the main event of the evening.
Por los puertorriqueños.
In a rematch for the unified WBA, WBC, and Ring Magazine Super Lightweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance, and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Barclays Center in Brooklyn, it's
Showtime. Vámonos.
Introducing to you first, the challenger on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks, sailing from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. He weighed in at a ready 139.25 pounds, with a record of 52 wins, 8 losses. He has 36 wins coming by way of knockout. He is currently ranked the WBA and WBC #2 contender. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the future Hall of Famer and the 5-time world champion in 4 weight divisions, introducing Eric El Terrible Morales.
You're going down. You're going down, down, down.
Across the ring is the defending world champion on my right, fighting under the blue corner.
Mi gallito de Puerto Rico, en Pennsylvania, pero más boricua que tú.
He weighed in at 139.75 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record
The Puerto Rican
no losses, 15 wins
en Filadelfia,
knockout tonight in his 3rd world
el gallito boricua.
Gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated WBA
Swift.
WBC Super Lightweight Champion of the World, introducing Danny Swift Garcia.
Okay, boy.
Once again, the referee in charge, now to give instructions, Benji Estevez.
Okay, guys, you received your instructions prior. Recibí tus instrucciones anteriormente. I want a nice clean fight. Quiero una pelea limpia. Que gane el mejor. Good luck to both of you. Touch it up.
So with that, we come to our main event. 12 rounds for the WBA and WBC and Ring Magazine Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Danny Garcia, the holder. Eric Morales, this time the challenger. Garcia says he always starts slow. He says, I start slow, but I'm not cold. Although he has not yet broken a sweat here.
Yeah, the early rounds are not rounds in which he normally gets a
Look,
lot
look,
done. And they expect
look our Puerto Rican flag on Garcia's
first fight, the big weapon he was able to use effectively was
Garcia's shot. Yeah.
Garcia, but
Our Puerto Rican flag.
Well, Morales, the question mark, of course, because he did have to lose the weight. What will he have left?
Danny Garcia felt that he let Eric Morales off the hook a little bit the last fight because he didn't pressure him enough. And he said, I was my first championship fight. I was fighting him down in Houston where he had a lot of fans, and I maybe just didn't focus enough to do that.
See if he takes a different attitude as champion.
I would say so. You know, the first fight it looked like, you know, in the beginning of the round that it was a man versus a boy. And it's looking like, you know, Danny's a man now.
The boy grew up.
That's right. Good right hand from Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
Garcia's busier here in round one by far. He's thrown 3 times as many punches as Morales already.
Yeah, and that's kind of surprising, I think.
Yeah. Not all landing, obviously, but still, he's more active.
Morales just not doing much with the counter there. Missed twice. It takes 3 punches from Garcia. Very quick-handed.
Yeah, nice little blow punches he had there.
Overhand right from Morales. Well, just a great crowd here. The Barclays Center, good right hand.
Both men landing excellent rights and good body
Whoa.
punches. So this fight heating up already.
Much faster pace from Garcia than we've seen before.
You can hit Danny Garcia with the right hand. Amir Khan did it often, but it's hard to discourage him.
Got hit twice with the right hand right there. He does have a little bit of a lazy left hand.
Good body shot from Garcia.
Morales missed an opportunity to counter with the right hand there. Garcia got out of harm's way. Want to talk about the keys to victory?
Yes, indeed. For Danny Garcia, as his dad Angel leans in to give him instructions, going to the body early would be an excellent idea for him. And pushing the pace obviously is important. And he wants to land the right hand, which is a good punch for him and one that can be used against Eric Morales. For Eric Morales, when he throws the jab, it has to be with conviction. He needs to throw it as a punch to land and not just set up another one. And he can't stay against the ropes. When he did that against Garcia in their first fight, it was a problem. And he's got to throw straighter right hands. Although, in round one, he landed a looping right hand that did get in.
Interesting, in Garcia's corner, they got the end swell on his right eye, up above his right eye, on the eyelid, actually. And it did look like there might be just a tad of swelling there. This is round 2. Morales has not really thrown a lot of jabs. There he throws one.
Yeah, you're right, Barry. He really wanted to begin with that punch and use it as a centerpiece of his attack, and that hasn't happened yet.
Clearly, Garcia the quicker of the two. Oh, nice little left hand slipped in by Morales.
Morales being a little bit more busy this round.
Counter right hand from Garcia. And a left hand from Morales. And right hand from Garcia.
When Danny Garcia, he made the point that when Eric Morales finally opened up in his attack, it was when he went down. Morales is opening himself up more early in this fight, and he is getting countered by Garcia.
Good right hand by Garcia right there.
And there he is on the ropes where he doesn't want to be, and we know why, because it was in the keys to victory. So there you go.
You know your stuff.
Well, you know.
Eso.
Body shot. Morales just right now.
Se va, cabrón, se va, chula.
Takes a right hand.
El 4, se va en el 4.
Honestly, slow-footed.
Ve pegado.
And again, putting himself in a
Cabrón es duro. Le ganó Manny Pacquiao y todo, pero.
straight right hand that we wanted.
Pero García se lo va a comer en el 4, le gana. García está más sólido.
He's finished with his combination. He needs to move his head.
Que deja el poseo, pega
He's
bien.
kind of standing there posing, and Morales is taking advantage of that.
¡Pum! ¡The chin!
Good right to the body.
Yeah, it sure was.
And Morales using his jab effectively toward the end of this round.
Good body from Danny.
Final 10 seconds.
Working the body well. Yes, yeah.
Eso es.
Good strategy with a guy.
Aquí pega, aquí pega.
Put the steam out of it.
Se lo dio, Pues ya, man, el 4 se va para el carajo. The 4 round, the 4. El 4.
Use the jab, man. Quick jab.
Yeah.
You're hurting, man. You gotta recover. Work the body. When you get the chance, work the body, okay? Use the jab. Work the body when you get the chance. Slip over. When it comes with the right hand, slip over to your left. Left uppercut. Left uppercut. Dig it.
He's a little faster than you right now. You gotta cut the ring a little bit.
So we come to round
Se va.
3. They want
Este
Garcia
lo
off the
bajo
body.
en 2. El 4 lo termina. ¿Cómo, Bobby? Un gancho. Ay, man, así lo bajo a matar.
You know, Morales looked a bit tired.
No puede poner ese. Ahí que se va a joder.
It's only the third round.
Garcia so far not heeding the advice of his father, not working the body, but did do it in the second round, and it does seem to have slowed Morales.
And indeed, the movement of Morales was not much in that last round, so it would lend credence to the idea that he may already be slowing down a bit.
And there again, Morales just got out
Se odió.
by Garcia.
But it is early in this fight, and we'll see if he can rejuvenate
No
himself a
puede
bit.
con el gancho.
And again, we point out that Garcia normally doesn't get off to winning all these rounds, which so far he has been. And the other thing Garcia's done is go to the body very effectively. When you do that early against a 36-year-old who had to lose weight, you're going to put yourself in a good position.
Yeah, Garcia, Morales just seems a little bit flat so far.
Yeah.
Nice combination.
Come on. Come on, Perico in his house.
And again, Garcia, it's just a case of Garcia out-quicking Morales so far.
Another good right to the body from Garcia.
And another left to the body.
Oh, damn shit, yeah.
Danny Garcia, listening to his
Oh,
certainly
fuck.
understood that that's the key to winning this fight early.
It was good.
Garcia's doing it.
Yeah, and came upstairs with the left hand of the head, too.
Keep it.
In the beginning.
Keep it. Chill up.
This is not the start Eric Morales wanted by any stretch of the imagination, especially given the fact that the second half of his last fight
Está frustrado, se le ve los
was
ojos.
not a good run
Ya tiene
for
miedo.
himself. For the beginning
Lo
to
dio.
be this dismal, not a good sign for him.
Now, so far, this is just not the Eric Morales that we've seen.
Y.
Great
Bien fuera, ¿ves?
and even
Lo dije.
Morales acknowledging it.
Lo dije.
He said the same thing in his mind.
Ya, haciéndose el macho, los mexicanos macho. Aguantan poquito, pero no vas a aguantar mucho, papá.
Already also under the right eye of Morales, so no good news for him.
Aguanta mucho. Mira, ¡oh! ¡Ay, te salvó la campana, hijo de puta! Ahora te va.
As he stumbles
Ahora te va.
to his corner. In fact, he stumbles
Lo
back.
sacó la campana, van cayéndose. Y uno ya. No, pero se va, se odió. Lo dije. ¡Oh! Diablo, la campana. Uno más, papá, lo mataba.
Set the plate up for this with their body work, using the jab
Toma.
and the straight right
Wow.
hand.
Boogity.
That's excellent work by Danny Garcia. And when he throws combinations,
Ay,
Garcia's
gancho.
a very effective fighter. And
Sí.
we'll take you
Ahora viene con el gancho otra vez, tú verás.
This is Danny
Ah,
Garcia's
yo
best.
sí, exacto, sí.
When he's a wild puncher,
Me perdí,
not
si no, yo estuviese bien ahí
sometimes he
también.
doesn't look like a champion, but when he does this, Danny Garcia looks every bit the part of a 140-pound
No, eso fue el
at
jab.
the top of the food
Eso
chain.
fue el jab, pero ahora va con el gancho, tú verás. Porque el gancho lo tiene jodido.
By 4 punches and the power punches in the last round, but the most important was that right hand.
I'm not sure Morales' legs are all the way back yet.
No, but Morales is backing up, which is not something we see Eric do.
And again, you saw that right
Está
hand,
jodido.
and that sort of stopped it. Let's bring
Ah,
in
haciéndose el macho, el mexicano, puro mexicano con chile.
referee Benji
Puro mexicano con chile. Levanta las manos, te dice el árbitro, cabrón. Levanta las manos. Ya no puede, ya no puede.
To the doctor and then
Se jodió.
both went into the corner, so they watched it real close.
Se jodió.
All right, thanks. That's the voice of Joe
Me deben 20 millones.
Hall of Fame referee on hand
No
to
pasa.
keep us honest about all things.
Ya yo sé, cuando se va
Be in the right
alguien.
position to be able to stop this fight, to make sure he is
Desde el principio lo tenía.
and that he's
Págate,
ready.
págate. No se la sacaba de encima.
With this 36-year-old getting
Mira.
pounded.
Mira,
Not at that point.
mira, ni los guantes, ni no puede ni, mira. No puede, con tu guante le mete en la cara.
To the top of the head.
Danny Garcia's doing all
Mira, mira, se jodió el gancho. Te lo dije, mira para allá, mira. No salió se jodió.
And this is a case of the king is dead. Long live the king.
No. So, Puerto Rico's in the hole. I tell you. You owe me. I was just did it. Fucking punch, man.
Conquered champion, Eric Morales.
It is a shame to see such a a pugilist go out like that. But props to Danny.
Yeah.
And regardless of what may have been in the system, it didn't help.
Woo.
Danny Garcia coming up with a superb performance, landing 9 of 13 power shots and creating this very dispirited scene for Eric Morales. We look at how he set up the left hook. Just
¡Pum!
punches Danny Garcia.
Toma.
He has great power in the left hand.
Poco más se va
And
a
it was
carajo
one of the
encima,
best he's thrown. It was thrown with great. It was a short, compact left hook. It really wasn't that wide a punch. And Morales will lower his right hand here as he starts, I believe, to throw jab. Yes, he lowers the right
Wow,
hand.
empezando lo tenía.
By Danny Garcia. Sometimes Garcia throws wide left hooks. Not that time. It
No
was
se la podía sacar, no se la
and it was
podía
too
sacar.
much for the 36-year-old Morales, who was already showing signs of wearing down in this fight.
Yeah, no question about it. Just, I mean, that's
Mira
about
para
as
allá.
close as it gets.
Yeah, that's one of those
No
textbook.
se lo podía sacar, eso desde el principio. Toma, toma.
Dip that shoulder and turn the body.
And we mentioned that
rayo, man. Eso le rompió la pija con
really
todo.
had given us foreshadowing that's likely to happen. He'd been hurt in the previous round toward the end of the round and was opening himself up for these big power shots. And ultimately, Danny Garcia, the 24-year-old, was able to do it. Put the Morales chapter of his career behind him to look ahead to all the tremendous possibilities in a 140-pound division that he may have in his future.
A lot of attractive fights out there for him, and he says he wants to stay at the 140-pound division at least for a little while. He says he easily could step up to 147, but I think a lot of good fights for Danny Garcia down the road. Let's go up now to Jimmy Lennon Jr. We'll make this all official.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 23 seconds in round number 4. Our referee in charge, Benji Estevez, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of knockout, still undefeated, and still the WBA, WBC, and Ring Magazine super lightweight champion of the world, Danny
Was the admirable word tonight. And I think, you know, they always say a champion has to go out on a shield, and I think perhaps we saw a champion do just that tonight in Eric Morales.
No doubt the close to
You owe me, you owe me.
All right, right now to the center of the ring once more, and Jim Gray with a very happy winner. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Barry. Danny, congratulations to you.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank my dad, you know, for guiding me through life. My mom, my little sisters, my brother, all my family, all the people who've been there for me. Al Heyman, he really helped me, man. He gave me this opportunity. Golden Boy, and most of all my fans in Brooklyn who came out to support me, baby. I appreciate y'all.
Danny, let me ask you about your performance this evening. And Eric, did you feel as though you were hitting a stationary target? You connected on 9 of your 13 power punches, and he seemed flat-footed. Did it seem to you as though he was an easy target tonight?
No, he's a crafty veteran. He made a couple good shots, but I bounced back. I noticed from the first fight, I showed him too much respect. I was letting him back me up, and I was just trying to counter in the end. He was catching me at the end of all the shots. So this fight, I went the press of action behind my jab and set my big punches up.
Was there any doubt in your mind after you had won the first fight and he wanted this rematch that it wouldn't be the same result?
Anytime.
I thought, you know, honestly, I thought it was going to go 12 rounds because he's a warrior. I mean, you see the first fight, we went at it. He's a warrior. He knows how to take a good punch, but we trained hard, man. I'm happy the result came early.
What
round was that?
That was the 5th round, and we're going to take a look at it right now, if we can, on our monitor. If we could show us the punch right here, tell us what's going on.
Boom!
Another kind.
Right there.
That left hook, I get that from my mom. All her side of her family's left-handed. So that's my genetics right there, that left hand. Thank you, Mom.
You now put yourself in a circumstance of Matisse, maybe Amir Khan, or a rematch.